The first time I saw Lyra, she was sitting alone in the training hall, her legs crossed, her back straight, and her eyes fixed on the massive holographic display showing the Academy rankings. She was tiny, barely past my shoulder, and looked more like a student who'd gotten lost than someone who'd voluntarily joined the Intergalactic Defense Corps. Her silver hair fell to her waist like a waterfall, and she always wore those oversized spectacles that constantly slid down her nose. She looked fragile even by human standards, let alone alien ones. But that wasn't what made everyone avoid her. It was her file. Low biometrics, weak muscle density, poor reflex scores, zero combat aptitude. Every instructor who reviewed her records said the same thing. She shouldn't be here. The Corps was full of towering alien warriors, hardened exosoldiers, and genetically enhanced species capable of crushing steel with a casual squeeze. And then there was Lyra, weighing about as much as a backpack and looking like a strong breeze could flatten her. I was assigned as her partner on the first day because I was the only human in the class, and apparently we were expected to stick together. "Hi," she said quietly when we met. "I'm Lyra. I hope I won't slow you down." She said it with such sincerity that I felt guilty for even noticing how out of place she looked. "I'm Tom," I replied. "Don't worry. We'll figure things out." But inside, even I wondered how she planned on surviving here. Middle, what no one saw coming one. The tests began. Combat training was brutal from the start. The instructors expected us to spar against alien trainees 3 times our size. When Lyra stepped onto the mat, the room filled with muffled laughs. Cadets whispered openly, "She'll be out in 2 seconds. Why is she even here? Humans are unpredictable, but she's useless." Lyra didn't react. She just adjusted her glasses and took a stance so ordinary it didn't even qualify as a stance. Her opponent, a hulking reptilian Korgoth soldier named Vrek, cracked his knuckles. "Don't worry," he said mockingly. "I won't break any bones." Lyra smiled faintly. "I won't either." He lunged. Everyone expected her to be flattened instantly, but instead, the moment he took a step forward, Lyra vanished. No, she didn't teleport. She simply moved so fast she blurred. She slid under his arm, tapped the inside of his elbow, and Vrek, 300 pounds of armored muscle, hit the ground face first with a thunderous slam. The room went dead silent. Vrek tried to stand, but Lyra flicked his knee, pressed her fingers gently to his neck, and the enormous warrior collapsed into unconsciousness. The instructor stared, his mouth hanging open. What technique was that?" Lyra pushed her glasses up. "Just normal human movement." I knew she was lying, but I didn't know how big the lie was. 2. Rumors spread and doubts grow. Over the next few weeks, Lyra passed every test with impossible ease. Her weapon accuracy was perfect. Her reaction times were practically precognitive. She could disarm elite alien soldiers with nothing but her hands. But outside combat drills, she was the same shy, quiet girl, always sitting alone, always observing, always thinking. One evening, I finally asked the question that had haunted me for weeks. "Lyra, who taught you to fight like that?" She didn't look at me at first. She watched the rain outside the training hall window, her silver hair glowing under the neon lights. "My father," she said. "He trained me when I was very young." "Was he military?" She hesitated. "He wasn't a normal human." I blinked. "What does that mean?" She only whispered, "You'll understand soon." 3. The raid that changed everything. Our class was sent to a remote frontier outpost as part of a live combat assessment. It was supposed to be routine, just patrol the perimeter, practice defensive formations, and observe the local terrain. But the moment we landed, the alarms blared. A full squad of Zarth Dominion soldiers had breached the defense grid. The Zarth were elite killers, genetically engineered, brutal, and utterly merciless. Their armor was black as night, their visors blood red, and their weapons strong enough to vaporize reinforced steel. Our instructors panicked. This wasn't supposed to happen. Evacuate the cadets. We're not equipped for this. And before any of us could move, the Zarth squad surrounded the compound. Their commander stepped forward, towering and monstrous. "Hand over the human girl," he hissed. "The small one. The fragile one." Lyra stepped behind me, trembling. For the first time since I'd known her, she looked genuinely afraid. I raised my weapon. Over my dead body. The commander laughed. "That can be arranged." 4. Lyra's secret comes out. The Zarth attacked. Instructors tried to hold them off, but they were overwhelmed in seconds. Blasts of red plasma tore through the walls. Alien cadets scattered in panic. I grabbed Lyra's hand and pulled her behind a collapsed pillar. "We need to escape," I shouted. She shook her head. "I can't hide forever." "What do you mean?" Her eyes glowed faintly, something I had never seen before. "They're here because of me. They know what I am." Before I could speak, a Zarth soldier leaped over the rubble. I fired, but he dodged effortlessly and aimed directly at Lyra. And then, Lyra moved. Not just fast, inhumanly fast. She stepped forward, grabbed the soldier's wrist, twisted it at a perfect 90-degree angle, and crushed his armored gauntlet as though it were made of paper. He screamed. She kicked him once. He flew 10 meters into a wall. I stared in shock. "Lyra, what are you?" Breathing heavily, she whispered. "My father wasn't human. He was part of an enhancement program, one the galaxy believed was destroyed. His abilities passed to me, and now the Dominion wants that power." And then her eyes sharpened. "I'm done running." Climax. She takes down the entire squad. The Zarth commander stepped forward, enraged. "Kill her. Kill them all." The squad, 8 elite assassins, charged. Lyra exhaled slowly. Then she moved like a storm. 1. She sidestepped the first attacker, grabbed his throat, and flipped him into another soldier with bone-shattering force. 2. She leaped off debris, kicked a blaster out of a soldier's hand, and snapped the weapon in half midair. 3. She spun through the battlefield with impossible agility, dodging plasma shots as if she knew their trajectories before they were fired. 4. She tore a metal support beam from the wall and used it as a staff, sweeping 3 armored soldiers off their feet in one motion. Cadets watched from behind ruined walls, their faces pale. "She's a monster." "No, she's human. Enhanced, but human. She's saving us." Meanwhile, I stood frozen, watching her fight for all of us, small, delicate Lyra, tearing through elite killers like they were nothing. She was a force of nature. And then she stood alone in the center of the courtyard, surrounded by unconscious Dominion soldiers, the ground cracked beneath her feet. Only the commander remained. He aimed a massive cannon directly at her chest. "This ends now." I lunged forward. "Lyra." The cannon fired. Lyra's hand shot out. She caught the blast. Barehanded. Energy surged around her, illuminating her fragile frame like a sun. She redirected the blast upward, where it exploded harmlessly in the air. The commander hesitated, too slow. Lyra crossed the space between them in a heartbeat and struck once, just once, placing her palm gently against his chest. His armor shattered. He dropped to his knees. "It's over," she said softly. And it was. Ending. The girl they finally saw. In the aftermath, medics rushed in, Cadets emerged trembling, and commanders stared at Lyra as though seeing her for the first time. Her glasses were cracked. Her hair was a mess. She looked exhausted, trembling from the energy she had expelled. I approached her carefully. "You okay?" She nodded weakly. "I didn't want anyone to find out. I just wanted to belong." "You saved all of us," I said softly. "No," she whispered. "I only protected what mattered." "Lyra," I said gently, "you're not fragile. You never were." She looked up at me, her eyes shimmering, not with power this time, but with emotion. I didn't want to scare anyone. I smiled. "Too late for that." She actually laughed. Later, when the official report was filed, it stated, "Cadet Lyra Solis single-handedly neutralized an elite Dominion squad." Word spread across the galaxy. Overnight, Lyra went from fragile girl to something else entirely. A symbol, a warning, a legend. And though she still pushed her glasses up nervously and sat alone sometimes, no one ever underestimated her again. Because now everyone knew the truth. She was the strongest human among us. And she proved it when it mattered most.